Hello, my name is Al Chavez and I'm a library assistant at the McCreeless branch of the San Antonio Public Library System. Today what I'm going to be doing is an online video demonstration of a craft that I really enjoy, which is woodworking. And what I'm going to be doing is creating a hand-cut dovetail box real similar to this one. And I'll be using primarily Japanese chisels and Japanese hand saws. So I'm going to go ahead and start, and I hope you really enjoy this project. Okay, so for the layout, what I'm going to start with is a certain measurement, kind of an arbitrary number, but I'm just going to mark it on the edges here. And that measurement is where I'm going to use my dovetail marker to set against the line. So I've already set this wheel marking gauge to the right depth, and I'm going to drag it across the surface here. Then this will create the stop line that I will cut to. This is not as critical as you might think, so I'm just eyeballing it. I just want it to be more or less centered. This is the waist. I'll cut away. These are my tails. So that's the first cut. So now I'm going to move on to the next side. And you just go on down and cut each tail as you did the first one. Okay, and I'll be using this chisel, which is about 1 inch, and it should be wide enough to go right across the edge. I may be able to get away just pushing it. I might have to use the mallet, but we'll find out. Okay, so I have cleaned up the edges, but now I have all this waste that's at the bottom, and that's why we have these skew chisels. You can come at the edges at an angle and cut right along the line. And when I say line, I mean the bottom of the dovetail. Okay, and I'm going to tighten that down. So this edge has to line up with this bottom edge. I'm going to use this Japanese square to do that. So now that's butted up against it. It's on the bottom of the first board. And I'm going to put my clamps down to hold it. And I'm going to use this marking knife to scribe those lines. Those are the lines I'm going to be cutting next. They should just slide together. Okay, so I have finished cutting all the tails and the pins on all of my pieces. They're carefully labeled so I know how they made up. I've also cut a groove in the bottom of each panel to accommodate what's going to be the bottom of the box. Glue up is pretty simple. So basically I'm going to just put a bit of glue on the bottoms, sides of both the tails and the pins. So, pins will slide in between the tails. Just like that. So I will use clamps to keep the joints snug while the glue sets. That's essentially it, but usually at this point I'll come back and I will shape it with files and rasps. For more information, visit mysapl.org or call 210-207-2500.